online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I figure this is fitting. I figure this works pretty well. Hello, AFTERBUZZ TV fans, and welcome to the first episode of the Minority Report AFTERBUZZ TV After Show. With me, I have my wonderful co-host, Nino Llanera.
Hello there, how's it going, everybody?
And what's your Twitter?
My Twitter is Nino Llanera, and it's also Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. Everything.
And Howard the Third.
Hi, guys. How are you?
And what's your Twitter?
Just at Howard the Third.
And I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaje. We are also monitoring our hashtag, which is ABTVMReport.
Yes, it is.
It's not alphabet soup for once in my life. I'm so happy. And we are covering 2 episodes today because we had a little break last week. We are covering episode 1, the pilot, and episode 2, Mr. Nice Guy, hence our wonderful opening song. Let's talk a little bit about these episodes. Let's talk a little bit about this show. I have to admit, I haven't seen the movie, but I was absolutely sucked into the world of this show.
I have not seen the movie either, so don't feel alone.
I'm a fan.
Have you?
No.
Oh, okay, so we're all on the same.
So we need a movie night then.
We need a movie night, but I liked it. I'm excited about it.
I absolutely enjoyed it. Awkward people not knowing how to interact with society is one of my favorite tropes, played well, and that is Dash to a T, and I absolutely adore him.
Right, and they have the technology to do so, but they're still awkward.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Real awkward.
Oh, yeah. Howard, what do you think?
I mean, they are really pretty awkward, but I just like how,
I mean, the show in general. Yes, I think they're awkward. We're all awkward. Moving on.
I really like the show. I mean, I'm a big, Megan Good fan, so when she got this, I was like, yes, I just want her to win, you know? But the whole show, I'm enjoying it.
I think this is a good role for her to play too, because it has a little sass, but it's kind of gives her another kind of a storyline and plot to play. The way she's playing this aggressive Vega, Laura Vega. That's her name, right?
Laura Vega. Yeah.
Laura Vega. I think it's cool. I like her in this character.
I think, and we're kind of staying away from the female cop or the aggressive woman stereotypes, and I like that. They're treating everyone as people, as opposed to just stereotype, white male, go.
Minority Report.
I can't vouch for the movie, but
I love it.
But yeah, if we look at the pilot going into it, it starts with a bit of a recap of the movie. We have the pre-crime unit, which is these 3 psychic is not the word I'm looking for. Precognitive. It's right there in the title. These 3 precognitive kids, now adults, who were essentially hooked up to a machine and predicted every murder that was going to happen for, they've said 6 years and they've said 10 years, and I'm not sure they've quite nailed down a timeline within the show itself. Right, but for way too long, essentially just seeing murders and not able to develop personalities and memories of their own. And then pre-crime ended, which I assume was a result of what happened in the movie. And they essentially sent them off to a ranch in the middle of nowhere and said, hey, you're cool, right? We're good?
Swamp
Stay
Island,
there.
was it? Yeah. Oh my God.
Swamp
Island.
I'm not sure it was called Swamp Island because that's Arthur, and Arthur is kind of not the nicest human being ever.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So we have Agatha, who seems to be happy to stay at the eponymous Swamp Island. We have Arthur, who is one of the twins, who gets the names and all of the data from the visions, but doesn't actually see faces or anything like that. And he is extremely self-serving and egotistical, and, kind of has a good reason to be, but that doesn't mean we have to like him. And we have Dash, who is our main character, who is Arthur's twin, younger by, 7 minutes?
7 minutes,
Something
I
like
believe,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
And he just he sees what happens, but he doesn't get any of the data about it. So Dash really got the short end of the stick as far as this goes.
Right, and he needs Arthur to function. So he keeps on coming back. But I mean,
But they obviously don't get along super well.
Yeah, they don't.
Very, very different personality types. And we have Dash trying to prevent murders and failing horribly, and eventually giving his giving a tip and essentially winding up accidentally giving his notebook to Lara Vega, who is our cop for this. And that's our conceit, is we have a precognitive who needs to stay completely under the radar, helping out a cop who can't stay under the radar.
Right, exactly. I think, where am I trying to go here? Dash. Sorry, I lost.
Wait, let me see if I can see it.
Right, let me see if I can see it. Let me see if I see it. I think Dash just developed this, obviously a complex during this 10 years of a milk bath type situation. And seeing over 700 murders, I can see why he's like, I need to help these people. I've been helpless for the past how many years, and I still see this every day. I would go crazy. You know what I mean? So I definitely think I can see why he had to reach out to somebody to really, really get this off his chest or what have you.
Well, and he could stop himself from seeing the murders if he went out to Swamp Island nowhere.
Right.
Because evidently it's within proximity.
I think it's within 100 miles, I remember, if that's what they said. So he could see a murder within 100 miles or whatnot. So you're right. If he was in Swamp Island with his sister, relaxing on a ranch, playing with horses,
then he'd be
fine.
fine.
He'd be fine. But he chooses to stay in the city.
He's a rebel. I love it.
Well, he doesn't seem to be the sort of guy who can stand for that. And you see all of these people dying, begging for mercy, etc. I would imagine it would get to you, and we're lucky that he didn't end up a raging sociopath.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
And would we be watching the series if he weren't?
All right, exactly.
Probably not.
So our pilot goes into one of our first murders, one of several actually, and we have a nurse for a rehabilitation facility, which is where they put the people who were damaged by pre-crime. They were arrested, they were kept in captivity, and it essentially messed up their brains, and so they can no longer function in society. So one of the nurses there is killed, and it turns into this whole big thing. Did anyone remember Rutledge's first name? I just have the last name.
Ooh, I can't remember actually from the top of my head what his first name was.
We have Daddy Rutledge, who worked with carrier pigeons that are no longer extinct.
Yeah.
And we have Daughter Rutledge, and they are both extremely unhappy with pre-crime and after Peter Van Eyck, who was the head of pre-crime at the time and probably one of its larger movers and shakers. And using the pigeons to bring in a disease, I'm not even sure what that was supposed to be.
I don't even know.
These killer pigeons.
It's very Hitchcock.
It's 2065, yet we still go back to the very, very classic way of is this really a classic way of killing people? No, you're right.
No.
Very, very, very Hitchcock. Very Hitchcock for sure.
It really is, but it's actually very smart because who would suspect it?
That's true.
Because Rutledge is your bird guy.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
And then having the daughter work with him. What I like about this is that we do have someone who can see the future, but we can work around it enough that we still have questions, we still need to do some investigation. It's still down to the wire. It's not like we see it, we're done, okay.
Right. No, I love the writers actually for Minority Report. They keep the story moving. When you think you know something, it still kind of turns its way, which is great because nothing's too straightforward, and we can have a good time trying to figure out what's happening. And as we move on to this is in the future, but as we move on to the second episode, we kind of see that things cross over, which I really, really like. It's not, the story doesn't really end episode per episode per episode. So far, at least,
It's the murders are super episodic, but the overarching plot.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get that as much in a lot of procedurals. Or if they try, this is Fox's terrible, terrible track record. I watched Almost Human last year, and that...
Did you?
I did. It was a lovely futuristic procedural with high technology, and
that was it.
Our engineer is sending us messages, and right now it's very large text. I did too!
With a lot of sad faces. Sorry about that, Alexis.
So Alexis is in the booth, and she's a lovely human being. So what we're saying is, guys, watch this show and tell Fox you love it. We want to keep it.
Yes.
We really want to keep it.
This is a good one, guys.
It's a really
good
good
one.
It is.
It is.
And we essentially end the first episode with both the daughter and the father getting killed one way or another. I love that our guns here, we have some guns that are projectile and some that seem to do concussive blasts.
Right.
And I'm not sure which are police issue or what the difference is, but I really do like the concussive force guns. That is just intriguing to me.
I'm so excited to see the other type of weapons that they have here. I mean, we saw something tonight, also, which we'll talk about later, is called the Six Stick.
Yes.
That I was like, okay, so that's a cool name. Then when we saw it in action, I was like, I totally get it, and it's totally literal. Like,
well, and it disables the guy without really harming them. It's not like a taser where bad things happen.
What was that first one that that Dash used on Megan? It was like it almost transformed him and kind of gave him.
It was a paralytic enzyme.
There you go. And it kind of just made his face like droop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I'm all about like, what's the new technology? I love it.
I love their kind of train subway system thing that where the different cars go different places and just click on. And according to the Hulu special features, they're looking at doing something like that in the future in real life.
Oh wow.
So that's if you guys have Hulu, that's one of the little special features is they talk about the technology. So good times. But yeah, we end with the daughter getting shot with one of the concussive force guns because she also had a gun, and well, it's a showdown at the OK Corral with pigeons. And we have Rutledge getting knocked out, waking up, and Dash sees that he's going to stab Lara and instead pushes him over a flight of stairs.
Yes. Was that what did they say? Was that
3 stories?
3 stories high. Yeah.
And did you see for the shopping mall? It was like 2 million square miles of retail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then nothing ever happened with it. That's kind of funny and kind of sad.
I know. There's a couple places like that around here still. The recession happened.
Yeah. You try not to think about that stuff in, 2065? What are we, 50 years into the future now?
Right. Let's hope the future is way brighter. Yeah. I'm hoping.
Knock wood. I think there's wood under here.
Okay.
We do. The table legs, believe it or not.
And I'm knocking as we speak. There we go.
The mics are picking it up like, what is that? So we can move into episode 2, Mr. Nice Guy. And what I love about this, and we talked a little bit about it, is that everything that happened in episode 1 factors into what's happening in this second episode.
I love that.
It's actions having consequences. We get the feds investigating that 2 people died during the previous crime and that her body cam was off.
Exactly.
And I love that they threw that out. That, the cops totally have body cameras. It's a thing.
I love the connection to the relevance of right now. That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And they did that a lot too with the Beyonce reference and the Tinder reference as they went on. I love it. They did it in the first episode as well too. So
that's just there's no way that the body cam thing was not intentional. Like that was definitely a thing. I can word tonight. It's great.
Did she even wear it for this episode? Because I don't remember anything.
I wonder if that's her contacts though.
I want a lens. Can I have a lens?
Yes,
Seriously.
please.
Seriously. I was like, I need one. I need a pair of beautiful lenses just like that so I can see everything.
I do love that we actually had that working against her, though, because the second she flipped on night vision, it's like, nope, the lights are going to come on, and there.
Right. She's like, blast, I can't see anything. Dash, help me out.
Because if you're wearing night vision and you get a bright light, that is, you're done.
Exactly.
That's it.
But I love that she relies on them. I love the infrared. I love all the information she can pull up. Just the lenses are amazing. And I would imagine that those also function as the body cam because her boss does show up and say your lenses are functional, you pulled up a file, are you working late? So they can track that at the precinct for accountability.
Can we just talk about how much Big Brother is watching everyone in the future? It's kind of scary, actually.
It is.
Well, we have that now. It's just not nearly as
advanced.
Advanced is the word. I was going to say pervasive, but it is that pervasive. And we help it. We, take all our selfies and post them online. It's me.
Exactly, right? Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that I absolutely love the technology, but I love that they're also showing that, there is accountability in the police force for what happens. And I'm not sure how long her friend can keep, how long Akilah can keep pulling up files and doing
Poor
this for
Akilah.
her.
She's like, I am your friend, right? Like, we are friends, right?
I know, she doesn't feel loved at all. I'm like, be good to her, Laura. Be good to Akilah. Like, to me, she's kind of like the one who holds all the pieces. Like, she goes to Akilah for everything. You need this, you need that. And she's not good to her. Like, Akilah needs love.
I don't think Laura's mind isn't all there right now, as you saw when she was talking to Will, her boss, Will Valderrama. That she was her mind is trying to work with Precog right now with Dash.
Yeah.
And nothing else is on her mind. She could care less that Will is her boss now.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, no, that's not really what no, I don't care. It's fine. We're friends. We're good.
Well, it's hard having to lie with that much accountability,
Right.
I would be willing to bet that she hasn't had to pull off a deception of this scale before. Especially with, as you said, so much Big Brother going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, but we saw how far she would go for this. She took Arthur's, Dash's brother's, case file and pulled it up to look at it. Like, she went that far because she wanted to really help the situation. So I wonder how far she'd go in the next couple episodes too.
I'll be interested to see that. Because I still think she's firmly on the side of lawful or at least neutral good. But it'll be interesting to see how far the series pushes her, especially with the stinger that we got at the end of the episode.
Exactly. A little vision that Agatha had.
That little vision that Agatha had is going to be a hard one to live with.
Yeah.
True.
Because we got a little bit of this at the end of the pilot with Agatha and Arthur talking about her vision that they're going to bring the precogs back in and start it up again, and not wanting to tell Dash about it because they don't know what his role's going to be. And so the stinger that we have at the end of this episode is Agatha seeing it again and seeing Lara there as well. And so, again, we're just getting all these little snippets,
Small
and we're not
pieces.
sure what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder, does Agatha, does Agatha, I was trying to put Agatha and C together. Does
I like Agassi.
You like Agassi?
Sometimes.
Does Agatha see everything? Does she see everything? Because obviously we know that Dash just sees some things, and then you have Arthur who gets the names. So does she get both?
Well, they told us at the beginning of the episode, we got a little flashback to the last day of pre-crime, and what they said was Agatha becomes the person whose future she predicts. So she essentially steps into their shoes.
Gotcha.
So
she could potentially be really dangerous to this whole everything that's happening.
But that also means that she has a very limited perspective. So if she's seeing it from the view of the murderer, she'll know more. But if she's seeing it from the view of the victim, well, that ends after a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. And that's why they hook them all up, because they all have very specific limitations. And if you notice what we see for Dash, he's always outside of it. He's seeing it from the outside in. And he gets all sorts of little symbols and bits and pieces, and it looks like a student's editing project. Like, we're going to be flashy, we're going to do symbolism, and it's going to be great.
Student's editing project, I love that.
Well, he's like, what, 20-something? He's still young.
He's still young,
Yeah.
Yeah, although Arthur looks way older than he does, and they're twins.
Yeah, well, grooming does a lot of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude wears a
very
suit.
True. That's very true. Cool.
Yeah, had some the pickup artist.
Tyson.
This episode.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about Tyson Cole.
Tyson Cole.
Because that's who they spend the whole episode telling you who they think the murderer is. So obviously, if you know anything about the procedurals, it's not going to be him. There's no way. But he is evidently a well-known pickup artist, and it's like, he has a diploma from Harvard, and not the online version, and he still writes actual books.
I love that.
And the fact that negging and pickup lines on a scale of 1 to 10 is still a thing 50 years into the future is just like, why?
Which is hilarious to me, because remember when they got into Club Alpha, they kind of they gave a little bit of I don't know what they gave,
microbiome analyzer is
go.
what I have written down.
To find out who would be your good match, or you know what I mean. Yeah. So you wouldn't have to have the small talk and figure out, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? Yet they still have like a whole conference on how to pick up and blah 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 and whatnot.
Well, some people prefer to be traditional, and Lara likes the classics like Beyonce and stuff like that.
Megan, good. Did you wake up like that?
Oh,
But we definitely see people in the club just kind of touching their little wristbands together, and it'll say stuff like "move along" or "get a room" or stuff like
51%. Oh, maybe there's a little bit there's some wiggle room in there.
Because of course we have to have Lara and Dash touching wristbands just to see what happens. Oh,
Exactly.
51%. That's more generous than I would have been. And with her continually saying, "There's no way, there's no way, there's no way," yeah, I ship it.
Yeah, me too. I do too. It's gonna happen somewhere in this episode, somewhere in this season. I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If not season 2, maybe Fox. Let's keep this on. I like it.
Season 2.
See? It's only the second episode.
Howard, what do you think?
I mean, I low-key wish I had those bracelets, though. Not gonna lie.
Yes.
Because it's just so much work getting in the getting to know you phase. Oh, what's your color? Oh, this. Oh, that. Like, give me the bracelet and let me be on my way. Like, I'm all here for it. I need a bracelet.
Super straightforward. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay.
But I'm wondering if it's biological compatibility, because like we're biologically compatible, but I really super hate you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get someone to move when you say 75% compatibility, but he is being a total creep?
True.
You know, I think we were talking about this earlier, where we were like how technology plays in television shows, and it's almost kind of like a look to the future to see. I wonder how close we are to something like this.
50 years?
50 years, you think?
50 years,
exactly
give or
50
take.
years. Like,
I mean, if we're making those predictions, I mean, why the heck not?
right.
But yeah, just the technology is so interesting here.
Yeah.
But it's never the focus of the story. It's never, we can do this, we can do that. It's just like lenses, those are a thing. Bracelets, those are a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that.
I like that they keep it going, and then that everything's such a normal thing. It makes us want to just know more.
Yeah, it's really good world building. You see a little bit, and you're like, but how does this work? And how does that? And tell me more. Tell me more.
And then they throw in Tyson.
That guy,
Yes.
who is a pickup artist and a lot savvier than he looks, because the symbol that we saw in Dash's vision is his moving tattoo.
Right.
I'm not sure I want to know the science behind that one. That's worrying. But it's his tattoo, and it's the symbol on his book, and it's just kind of his branding. And so they immediately assume, oh, that guy, it's got to be the murderer, because we didn't see any faces this time around.
Right. And his little cynicalness when he was talking to Vega at the end of the conference.
Yeah.
And she was trying to get one up on him, but he was like, "Oh no, honey, I know what you're doing."
He literally wrote the book on it.
Exactly, literally.
And I would imagine that he's also run into lawsuits and things like that, and that he has to be careful, because his was, oh, and you want to sell the streaming rights for a sex tape with me? If you're recording this, my lawyers will tear you apart.
Exactly.
Just he knows how to protect himself. But that's also kind of the point where you go, maybe it's not him.
Right. He seems like too smart of a cookie for this to happen.
Turns out it's the bartender.
The creepy bartender.
Yes.
Oh
And
my gosh.
again, it's a procedural thing, but you have all of the pieces within the first 10 or 15 minutes of the episode, but
That's
the
true.
execution, because we saw the bartender talking about, oh, rough night tonight, oh, the next round's on me, and he doesn't start acting like a creep until the murder victim shows up, and he is just all over her,
Yeah.
and she's not interested.
Yeah.
And personally, this was terrifying to me, because you run into those guys a lot.
Yeah.
And this can be the result
Right.
of it. So, yeah, mirroring real life.
Watch out,
Terrifying.
people. Be careful.
Seriously, that's why I speak to almost everybody and anybody, especially like at a club, or if I'm like at a restaurant, and make sure I like overly speak to the waiter and stuff like that, because you never know who
So you're
the
overly
killer
speaking,
is.
trying to gather information to make sure they're not crazy.
Exactly. Like,
Right.
what did you say was in this? Oh, okay. Just wanted to double check.
What was your name again? Here, you're Google. Okay.
I was just thinking of the
Seriously.
Dane Cook sketch about the one guy at the office that no one likes. You always give him candy in case something happens.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's that's
Stunningly
so true.
inappropriate because Dane Cook, but it works for this.
Exactly. You,
That's
know, you
pretty
could
funny.
never be too safe. Like, oh, how you doing, Bob? Okay. I'll see you later. Just
Exactly.
those 2 seconds.
Just
That's
be
it.
friendly. Just be friendly. Exactly.
But this is just something I run into as a woman. Thanks for the candy. Thank you, Alexis. This is just something I run into as a woman. If you smile, people immediately think you're flirting, and no amount of I am attempting to be polite, I don't know you from Adam, will dissuade them. And so that's like, there, but for the grace of God and 50 years of technology go I. It's still
terrifying. A problem. It's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Some things you can't change, apparently, right?
Yeah, but you can see them coming? Question mark?
I know, right.
If you know the right people.
I know. I'm going to be friends with Vega in the future. I'll Vega in the future.
just one. We'll pick one at random.
Right, exactly.
I don't know, I'd like to be friends with Dash in the future.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You were talking about Dash earlier, weren't you?
We're having a Disney movie marathon. Because there are some references you need to understand. And it's just not getting the little references when you kind of go, oh, yeah, they didn't have childhoods.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything. They've literally been comatose for the past 10 years. And it's hard to wrap your mind around that.
Mm-hmm. It's like being stuck. Do you remember those girls who were held captive for how was it, almost 20 years?
Yeah.
Almost 20 years in a basement and not really knowing anything. They came out you know
what
I mean?
is this?
That would be insane just to come out to a whole new world. Even 5 years difference if you're like locked in solitude somewhere. Technology changes so much. You know what I mean? You can go from the iPhone 1 to the iPhone 6. You know what I mean?
To put a more comedy spin on it, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Relatively similar premise.
Right. Definitely.
So yeah, I think the one thing that we really need to touch on here is Dash dealing with the fact that he killed a guy.
Right.
Because that's definitely something that they bring in, and everyone talks to him about it. How are you handling it? This is a thing that happened. You can't ignore it. And we finally get him saying that when it happened, he felt numb. He'd seen 700 murders, and he felt numb.
Exactly. And I think I would probably feel numb as well, too. But, now it's just like he said that when it happened, he thought he would feel something else. Mm-hmm. But when it happened, it just kind of happened. I think that's really just from him wanting to resolve these murders. Because he couldn't. He hasn't been able to. He's been seeing them, but he hasn't been able to do anything. So now he's actually been able to do something, and he's just like, mission accomplished? Question mark? You know what I mean?
Well, and he'd been expecting murder to be the worst feeling in the world, and then nothing. Which
is kind of scary to see how far he can go, too, within this season. If he feels that way, he's just not feeling anything.
Again, we're very fortunate he didn't wind up a raging sociopath.
I know.
There were a lot of paths that he could have gone down, and he's been seeing people die since he was a preteen.
Right. And luckily now, he's a good guy. We hope.
It's a morality thing. Howard, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's so, it is very scary that you see 700 murders in your life like that. So for him to just be like, yeah, I'm numb. I don't really care. Another one bites the dust. I was like, ooh.
We should have started with that song.
Yes, that's very, very true.
Exactly. Keep that in the back pocket for later.
Let me type that in really quick. Making sure we have it for next week.
He just keeps going, It's just weird. I don't know. I don't like that. He's just so numb to the murder. I'm like, I want you to feel scared. When I'm watching, I don't know, it's because I'm scared. I just want him to be scared of these murders, and I want Laura to be the same way, because it kind of seemed like Laura was like, you're gonna get used to it. What?
I feel like cops are just like that. They're used to it. I'm sure there are some that can be emotionally attached to cases and stuff, as I watch True TV sometimes, and they do cry, and they're like, I just really had a attachment to this case. But Laura just seems like, another one bites the dust. I got to figure this out, and I have another case to do.
Yeah.
Situation.
PTSD is still a thing, though.
Very true.
Yes.
Very, very true.
Not addressed as much as it should be, but nonetheless. Mm-hmm. What I did like is that this became a bonding moment between two people who have seen way too many people die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Lara having a lot more experience in dealing with it, and how do you work with the aftermath, and how do you go on. And for Dash, this is not the first dead body he's seen, but definitely the first one he's caused.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Exactly. Well.
Right.
All right. So do we have any final thoughts on either episode?
Both episodes. Like I said, I'm really excited for the season to progress and continue. Mm-hmm. I liked it and I was drawn into both. I mean, from the trailer, from the get-go, when I first saw the trailer a couple months ago on YouTube, I was like, oh, this is going to be really, really exciting. This is going to be really, really good. I always feel like I'm watching a movie as I'm watching this. It's CGI is great. Everything's good. The storyline's great. I like it. I dig it. And I really, really hope it continues to stay on this kind of same lane where we have a good storyline and everything still attaches together. Let's hope it goes like that. Let's see.
Ditto. Just to kind of shadow that, I do like that. I do like this show. I'm also excited to see where it's going to go from here. I'm excited for Megan's character just because I'm a Megan fan, but I'm excited to see what she's going to do, how she's going to do it, when she's going to do it. Like, I'm waiting on you, Megan. Don't let me down. Or Laura, either one. Don't let me down.
I'm also waiting to see how much more Wilmer Valderrama's going to play into this. I feel like he's been just hopping kind of in and out of these episodes.
Well, we don't know what happened between the two of them.
Right.
We know that one got promoted, the other didn't, and there was some taking credit for things, and obviously there's a little bad blood in there.
Right.
But we don't have the specifics yet, and I'm sure they're holding on to that for the most dramatic moment in episode 10 or something. Who knows? Do we have a season order for this yet, or is it too early for that?
I don't know, actually.
I think so, but
what do you think?
We have 4 episode titles listed on Wikipedia, but that's about as far as we've got. So I think we're gonna wait and see what the numbers look like.
Right.
So hopefully they're good. Watch it, guys. Watch it.
I like this. I like it. Watch it, please.
It's on Hulu. if you miss it, it's on Hulu. Watch it on Hulu. Good things. Yeah, I'm honestly not super into the procedural part of it. It's interesting, but I like that that's the framework for this world, this technology, these character interactions that we have. There are a lot of threads here, but we're only seeing about this much of it, and I'm just kind of waiting for it to blossom into this huge, ridiculous web. I'm waiting for more of the overarching plot to come in. We should be in predictions at this point.
We should.
I think I just wandered straight into predictions.
I was waiting for it.
But we don't have the... We do have the light show. We didn't have that yesterday. All right.
I figured it out.
Thank you very much.
Give yourself the applause sound effect. You deserve it.
I'll just do it in my head.
Just, yay!
woo, go Alexis.
And everyone who's listening on iTunes is like, what on God's green earth
going
are they
on?
talking about?
So just to set that in, blue lights were flickering. We were amazed and looking around. And you can catch it on YouTube just in case.
It's the laser light show. It's the laser light show. I love it. So predictions then.
Predictions. Okay. So I think that Agatha's going to step in somewhere in the next episode. I think she sees something she doesn't like it. I think it's been progressing a little bit more. We saw her a little bit more this episode than we did last. I think she's going to get out of her 3D Skype bubble and jump into a real city life for this and figure something out alongside with Arthur, which I'm actually not totally sure, because actually Arthur tested Vega this time.
Yes.
And saw that she did what he said, so he feels a little bit more trusting to her. But I still don't trust Arthur all the way. He seems like somebody that I have to step back and watch a little bit more. But I think something's going to happen with Agatha the next episode.
Howard?
Yeah, just a little bit of that. I think that Will in the character, I think he's going to come in a little bit more, and we're going to get a more of a backstory of how he became boss and how Laura and him have this weird type of chemistry. And then I also see Laura and Arthur becoming a little bit closer, because he did say on this last season, we're going to do some great things together. He can't see the future.
Would you ship Laura and Will?
No. Dude, that's how internal reports start, you guys. That's investigation material right there.
There's human resources is just
Human resources is like, no.
No.
I see it. There's chemistry between Laura and Will. It's something there. It's more than just a boss and an employee type of thing. I'm telling you. Tweet me.
I'm not entirely... I'm honestly wondering, once he finds out about this, because there's no way he's not going to find out about this.
Exactly.
We have this big future vision that may or may not happen. Is he going to go in with them and work with them, or is he going to throw them under the bus? We don't know enough about him yet to know.
True. I'm hoping he won't throw them under the bus and that he cares about Laura like that, but I mean, like you said, we don't know, so.
True.
We don't know enough about his character to really know. And I get the feeling that we won't know either way until it happens.
Right.
Because he's that kind of person.
Just gonna pop up like, wow, okay, we get it now.
Well, and we also have something of an out because we have this big vision that we're working towards, kind of. And that the conceit for pre-crime was that people had to believe that this was the future and it was going to happen. And not that it was a potential future that might happen given the circumstances, but could be altered. So that was the not so little white lie that pre-crime was founded on. But we as the audience have that information, so we know, okay, we have Agatha's vision and we're worried about it, but that doesn't mean it's going to come to pass.
That's true.
Which is part of why they're playing the wait and see game. I am waiting to see more about Aquila. I'm waiting to see more about our doctor that has been working with them. I'm waiting to see more about the DIA agent who was with them at the end of pre-crime. Did we even get a name for that guy?
No, I don't remember hearing a name.
He showed up. And it wasn't Van Eyck, was it?
That was not Van Eyck.
Different dude.
Yeah. And what did we say the DIA was? I pulled it up earlier.
A Defense Intelligence Agency.
There you go. I had to pull that up on Google.
Yeah, because he was like CIA. And he was like, I'm not CIA, I'm DIA. And we all kind of looked at each other and went, what?
What's his DIA?
And I'm from Colorado, so for me, that's the Denver International Airport.
There you
I'm
go.
like, I know you're not a DIA person. That's TSA. That is different. So I'm just waiting to see how the character relations pan out. I'm waiting for more backstories. And again, the one big thing I have coming down the line is he's going to find out, but we don't know which way it's going to go.
Right.
In the meantime, I'm looking forward to a lot more missed references on Dash's part. That's always hilarious. Right. Any final thoughts?
That's it for me. I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, that's about it for me. Oh, I'm waiting for the technology. I can't wait
Yes.
for the new gadgets. Everything they're going to show. I just cannot wait for it.
Once again, Fox, if I can get a lens just to test it out here on the show, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. we would all go for that.
Yes.
Before we swing into the end, I'm going to take a minute just to talk about iTunes. We're a brand new show, and we're super happy to be here.
Yay.
And we would love a little support from you guys. We love it as AfterBuzz people when you comment on YouTube, when you write reviews on iTunes, when you rate us 5 stars, when you subscribe, when you do all that happy little stuff. That tells our bosses that, hey, we really like these people talking about future crimes. We would like to hear more of them talking about future crimes. So if you do, your likes, your comments, your subscribing really super helps. And it helps us get sponsors, and it helps us keep the light on. And who knows, we might even get guests coming in.
Yay.
Because they see that you love us and they want to be a part of the party.
And we want guests. We do.
We really super do.
Yes.
So yeah, subscribe and comment on YouTube, subscribe and rate and comment on iTunes, all of that fun stuff. Thank you for watching. Howard, where can the people go to find you on media?
Yes, please follow me on Twitter at Howard III and Instagram at Howard III. Follow me.
All right, guys. And once again, my name is Nino, and you can find me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaje and on Snapchat at Kia Prime. I write articles for the Movie Chick, that's Chick with 2 Ks, and I am on a whole bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, including Guardians of the Galaxy, which starts in just a few minutes, and Blind Spot, which starts tomorrow.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye,
See you in the
guys.
future.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.